Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl RP, that stands for Rose Basimura. This is about lifestyle and family related content. Sometimes I do a lot of reactions as I'm doing today. So as you see in the title, today I'm going to look at 10 things you missed in Squid Game if you don't speak Korean. I believe as a distinguished K-drama watcher, K-pop listener, I have a few words up my vocabulary, right? I know some Korean, so maybe... and I watched Squid Game in Korean and Hangul with subtitles. So let's see if I missed anything, right? You do this with me as well. If you didn't watch it in English, if you watch in Korean with subtitles, let's see if we missed something or if we got it up. Okay, let's just watch. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button, start getting notified every time I upload. Like, comment, and share. Let's get it. Hyung.
10 very important things you missed while watching Squid Game if you don't speak Korean.
Let's see them.
무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다.
10. The meaning of character names.
Ooh.
Specific character names have deeper meanings that are being lost in the translation.
Really?
For example, Saebyuk.
Saebyuk.
The North Korean character's name means dawn in Korean.
Dawn.
Also, the way characters address each other can show differing class and levels of respect.
That one I
and shows
know.
backgrounds of characters in understanding the way they were brought up. Koreans are annoyed because the subtitles showed names when in reality what they were saying was
Hyung, I know. That's like respecting someone who's older than you, right? Someone who's over higher. Mostly, I hear it mostly. Let me tell you, I've watched K-dramas. I know these. Sometimes when watching Korean, you hear someone saying Hyung, but then in the English subtitles, they're putting the name and you're like, that's not the name. The guys, it's like big brother. It's like, you know, respecting someone who's older than you, but you're close to, because you can't say Hyung to someone who's not, you're not close, who you do not know. I think that's a bit disrespectful as well. So that's more of like respecting someone who's mostly older than you and he's a guy. I know these.
형. A title for a man to call men who are older than him.
Like I said. Hyung.
which also means a senior in a respectable way.
Exactly.
Imagine watching Ali's heartbreaking betrayal from Sang-woo while knowing that he was calling him using this word that shows respect. It would change your whole perspective on the scene.
This one I
As
know.
painful as it already was, but it would even give it extra emotion and meaning.
That one I knew already. I felt it because I understood.
A title
I know that Opa. Most times Opa, now they've already given me, but let me start with the cheating code. Of course, it's the title, all I mean, call men who are older than them. But that's a bit respectful. And then also, women, mostly like, if I have a brother who's older than me, I'd call him Opa. Or, like a boyfriend, also that works. You kind of respecting. That's putting respect to someone who's older than you and is a guy. That's what I knew. Like, those are Korean ones that if you become interested in that entertainment or language or anything, these are first things you pick up quick.
for a woman to call men who are older than her.
9. Understanding more about the challenges. In Squid Game, the challenges are central to the series, but are non-Korean speakers getting the full understanding of them?
I don't think so.
For example,
무궁화 꽃이
피었습니다.
피었습니다. And many people commented they thought it was green light and red light in Korean. I guess the translator just made the subtitles that way for easier understanding. I want you to know actually
Korean national
무궁화 is the name of Korean national flower.
Okay, that one I
and
did know.
꽃 means flower and
꽃.
피었습니다 means it
피었습니다.
bloomed. So actually the meaning of this creepy sound is 무궁화 flower bloomed. And in the game,
bloomed.
when 무궁화 flower bloomed, you gotta freeze.
8.
Oh,
One
that
Lucky
one I've
Day.
learned.
Koreans point
I
out
didn't
the
know that.
significance of the last episode's title, One Lucky Day, which is a famous Korean short story by Hyun Jin-gun, and why the end of the episode was known to nearly everyone in Korea. In that novel, the main character hustles hard all day to feed his sick wife. When he gets back home, he finds his wife dead, then the story's over. In the episode, Kian made a lot of money in the game to help his mother, but on his return home, he found his mother
she
dead,
was
thus
dead.
paralleling the story. 7. The cultural differences and the directing choices. For
True.
example, the choice of Sang-woo being in the tub next to a burning briquette, which is often a sign of suicide.
I didn't know
Briquettes are a
that.
sign of poverty, as back in the day, Koreans didn't have electricity. It's also commonly used for Koreans to take their own life, as being in a space with the fumes causes death.
Oh, I didn't know that
6.
either.
Hiding her North Korean accent.
That one I
One
know.
Twitter user Youngmi Mayer explained that Saebyuk was trying to hide her actual accent from the other players. In the scene where Saebyuk talks to her younger brother, she initially talks in the standard Seoul dialect, but immediately switches to the North Korean accent when her brother starts becoming distressed. This is common, as there can be a level of discrimination and the North Korean would be trying to downplay her differences to better fit in.
I didn't know that.
Difference in ideology that the writer is trying to get across to you. Do you know what I mean?
5. The funny dubbing. A lot of Koreans are making fun of how the dubbing of the show does not give it justice.
I did watch it in English.
It's exactly like where I lived when I was younger.
Sir, we need to play with our marbles.
I did watch the dub version. I
The
watched it.
voiceover would summarize a very big scene with a lot of dialogue in just a few words. This takes away a lot of the meaning
I
that
did
the
watch
writers
it in
want to deliver through important
English.
dialogues.
Watch it in Korean.
Sir, are you okay?
Even some of the non-Korean viewers noticed this and started making fun of it as well.
True that.
Your life is tough? Well, I like to watch a Squid Game in dubbed. Fucking dubbed, I tell you. Why? Because I'm dyslexic as fuck and I can't read in time. It's too quick. It's not fair. You want to see what that shit look like? Hey yo, did you steal my cigarettes? No.
4. The meaning of ganbu.
Gambu. I don't know. They didn't put it in English. I don't know what that means exactly. Ganbu. They didn't even put it in
In episode
English.
6, the conversation between players 001 and Kian around the meaning behind ganbu, a Korean word that is used to show allyship.
It's a really small line there, but it's like literally the point of the whole episode. 깐부, 니꺼 내꺼 없이. What that translates into is there is no ownership between me and you. Not we share everything. That is a huge miss. That's like the entire point of this fucking episode.
3. Minu's slight dialogue changes. Mayer pointed out that the English subs and dubs would consistently sanitize Han Minu's pretty constant swearing and coarse dialogue.
Even things that like aren't even that bad, like she says like, what are you looking at? It's turned into go away, which might seem arbitrary, but like everything she says is not really aligning, and so you're missing a lot of this
But I saw
character
what
and
I'm
what she
looking
stands
at.
for. One
I
part that
I
I think
got
is a
that in my
huge
head.
miss. Here she is trying to convince people to play the game with her, right? Right here. Translation says, oh, I'm not a genius, but I can work it out. What she actually said was, I am very smart, I just never got a chance to study. That is a huge trope in Korean media. The poor person that's smart and clever and just isn't wealthy. That's a huge part of her character.
To know just how crude a character is can be very important to the understanding of that character and how they fit into their own world. It would be like dubbing in a darn on Samuel L. Jackson, so the viewer misses a lot.
Oh, motherfucker! I didn't even know that motherfucker.
2. Subtle comedy is missed. Spoken comedy is always difficult to translate, and when it comes to two words having different meanings but the same pronunciation, it makes all the more difficult. For example, when Sangwoo describes how he lost his money playing around with futures and stocks, Kian is confused because futures in Korean is sunmol, which is coincidentally the same pronunciation as the word gift, which is also sunmol. So Kian was under the impression that Sangwoo lost 6 million by giving a woman an expensive gift, hence the comedic effect. 1. The respect and the disrespect. Korean culture is very age and class conscious, and to ignore the proper honorifics shows an immense amount of contempt and disrespect. Non-Korean viewers might have missed some of this with Kian and
I know
Ilna.
the age thing and the class thing.
We always see Kian using the most polite and formal speech when addressing the old man, which is treating elderly with respect.
That's what I noticed.
But in the final scene where they reunite, he drops it and switches to informal rude speech as he realizes the kind of
noticed
monster
that
the
as
old man had
well.
been all along.
I noticed that.
왜 그런 짓을 했어?
Even the way he poured the water and handed it over to him with one hand showed contempt.
Yeah,
In
they
South
always
Korea,
do with two
it is
hands. I've
traditional
seen that.
that
Even
when a person gives a
receiving.
drink to another adult, the person has to offer the drink respectfully with two hands.
That one I know.
That showed a change in their dynamic.
Yes, I noticed
All of this would
as
give the
this.
viewer an insight on the culture in Korea and therefore, a better understanding of the show and on the hidden meanings which the writers intended to give. Of course, while a more culture-specific translation may be desirable, some people believe that a direct English translation could make it more confusing for those not overly familiar with Korean customs. Let us know what you think of this debate. Also, what else did the non-Korean viewers miss that was lost in translation? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.
Well, I might not have picked up on the North Korean dialect because I'm not a Korean speaker. It would be hard for me to understand even I really want to learn it. If you want to teach me Korean, please be my guest. I'll appreciate that so much. Of course, I picked up a couple of things from watching a lot of K-dramas and also listening to a lot of K-pop. So since I've watched like a million K-dramas, at least the age thing, even when I'm watching K-pop artists interviews, I noticed that so much. Like they put a lot of respect in age differences and social standings. That one I knew. That's why from the first thing from Hyung and Oppa, I already knew about that, and also him, the way he was speaking to the old guy before and after. I noticed that difference because I've seen it a lot, and at least I've come to understand that per se. Now when it comes to the North Korean dialect or, you know, direct translations, because some words I might not have known, I might not have really noticed, but that go away, I think I would have noticed because it's not like a kojo or something like that, which is go away, and then she did not say that, so I was like, is that really go away? I was skeptical, but then I didn't know what she had said because I didn't know like what I'm looking at is that, but at least I was sure that's not go away because go away knew it's something. I think it's kojo or something like that. Gojo. I hope I'm not wrong. I'm here trying to show off that I know some Korean, but I might be wrong. Please forgive me. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing here, but at least I noticed that little thing. But I didn't notice a lot of slip up because I saw people are complaining about it. But subtitles were way better than dubbed. The dub version sucked. Immediately I saw the English dub version, I was like, no way. Even when I see a lot of, for example, Love Alarm also has a dubbed version, I always go for subtitles. Good thing I have no problem with I can read quick. I just catch up quickly, watch the subtitles. My one eye is down, this one is up. I like doing that because in the long run it also helps me learn the language, even though it's not so effective because I get to learn like words, not like a sentence or sentence construction. I don't know how to write it. Even though you wrote right now 안녕하세요 or 안녕, I wouldn't understand it if you wrote it in like the Korean, not in the romanized version. I wouldn't get it. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm Rose Basuma. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. 안녕.